Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we're diving deep into something pretty unique.
Uh-oh, sounds intriguing already.
It is. It is. We're looking at indigenous stories and perspectives.
Okay.
But get this, we're doing it through a student's media reflection.
Interesting. What course is this for?
It's for the NBE3U course.
I see, the one focusing on contemporary Indigenous voices in Canada.
That's the one. And this reflection, it's amazing. It covers so much ground.
Like what?
Well, everything from storytelling and reconciliation, big picture stuff,
Right.
to the student's own personal growth through the course.
Oh, I like that. A personal touch.
Exactly. It's like this journey the student's on reflects a much bigger shift.
What do you mean?
Well, society as a whole is starting to recognize and respect Indigenous knowledge.
Oh, absolutely. It's about time.
And the student kicks things off by talking about how crucial storytelling is.
To Indigenous cultures.
Yeah. And there's this quote, it's fantastic. It says, "Stories are more than narratives. They're a way to connect generations and ensure the survival of traditions."
Powerful stuff.
I know, right? It makes you think about how vital stories are. It's not just words, it's keeping traditions alive.
Absolutely. It's about passing down knowledge, history, those values, the heart of a culture.
And you know what? This ties directly into the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
You mean the 94 calls to action?
Yes, those calls were created to, address the whole legacy of residential schools.
And work towards reconciliation, a brighter future.
Exactly. And many of those calls specifically focus on Indigenous languages.
Keeping them alive, preserving cultural practices.
Yeah, like call to action, #14.
The one advocating for an Aboriginal Languages Act.
That's it. It's about revitalizing and protecting those languages, giving them the support they deserve.
And speaking of revitalization, the student mentions a fantastic project.
Oh, you mean the HiZAF Language Project?
That's the one. They're actually recording the last fluent speakers.
I know. It's amazing. They're creating a lasting record of the language.
Imagine that, helping future generations connect with their heritage.
It's powerful stuff. A community actively working to keep its culture thriving.
It's a perfect real-world example of what the student was learning in the NBE3U course, eh?
Oh, totally. Like, the idea that language is alive, it needs care, protection, that must resonate.
I bet it did. It connects us to who we are, where we come from.
And speaking of the course, it seems like it really pushed the student to think critically.
About Indigenous issues.
Exactly. They specifically mention themes of identity,
Relationships.
and cultural resilience. It's all interconnected.
It is. Those are core themes when you're trying to grasp contemporary Indigenous experiences.
Right. Like when we talk about identity, we need to recognize the diversity within Indigenous communities.
And understand how colonization has impacted their sense of self. It's complex.
And in their relationships, those are crucial too.
Within the community and with the land, it's all intertwined.
And cultural resilience, that speaks volumes about strength.
Adaptability, facing immense challenges, and coming through stronger.
The student mentions a novel that really explores these themes.
Oh, which one?
Medicine Walk by Richard Wagamese.
Powerful book.
It tells the story of a father and son reconnecting, but it goes deeper.
Wagamese doesn't shy away from tough topics, does he?
Not at all. He tackles intergenerational trauma head on.
The impact of residential schools, those wounds run deep.
But he does it through these beautifully crafted words, a story that touches you deeply.
His use of nature imagery, it's masterful. It's not just decoration, it symbolizes healing.
The characters' journeys, too. It's like walking alongside them.
I can see why it resonated so deeply with the student.
Absolutely. Now, remember how the student talked about applying what they learned to real-world issues?
Yeah.
They had this media response infographic project to do.
Interesting. What was that about?
It was about connecting course concepts to modern media, taking complex ideas and making them understandable for a wider audience.
A visual way to communicate those important messages.
Precisely. Bringing those discussions out into the open.
It's about empowering students to be advocates for change.
It's not just theory. It's about taking action and inspiring others to do the same.
Using their knowledge to make a real difference.
I love that. And the student is also super honest about their own learning journey.
Oh, that's always refreshing.
They admit they could have managed their time better, but you know what? They're also really proud.
Proud of what they accomplished.
Yeah. They talk about how much their communication skills grew.
And their analytical skills, those are key.
Especially through those book club discussions. Those were impactful.
Book clubs are amazing for that, fostering critical thinking and communication.
It's that open dialogue, the respectful debate, that really helps us grapple with these complex topics.
It's about listening, learning from each other, and growing together.
Could agree more. What really struck me is how the student describes the course as transformative.
Like it fundamentally changed their understanding.
Yeah. They gained a whole new perspective on Indigenous stories and how they connect to bigger societal issues.
Makes you wonder what specific moment sparked that, right? Was it a reading? A discussion?
Who knows, right? Maybe one story, one historical account shifted everything.
Or perhaps it was all the learning building up, leading to this gradual but profound realization.
Either way, it's clear the course ignited a desire to keep learning, to delve deeper.
To become a better ally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, the student talks about wanting to be a better neighbor.
In a reconciled Canada, a beautiful vision.
It highlights how reconciliation isn't just some political process, it's personal.
It's about each of us taking responsibility, taking action.
Right. Learning from the past so we can build a more just future.
A future where everyone feels seen, heard, and respected.
And as we wrap up, I keep coming back to this question. How can we, as listeners, foster that respect and understanding in our own communities?
It starts with listening, with genuine curiosity.
Maybe we read Indigenous authors, attend cultural events.
Or even just start conversations. Share what we've learned today.
There's so many ways to get involved, to learn, to connect.
Absolutely. But approach it with humility. Be willing to listen and learn from those with lived experiences.
Seek out Indigenous voices and perspectives. Don't shy away from challenging your own assumptions.
Support Indigenous-led organizations, those doing the work on the ground.
Remember, reconciliation is a journey, and every step we take, big or small, contributes to that brighter future.
A future where Indigenous cultures are celebrated, not just tolerated.
A future where we walk together in partnership and respect.
That's the dream worth striving for.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. Let's keep the conversation going.
Let's all do our part to make that vision a reality.